Hello and welcome to another special edition of Pwol Show. Tonight I have with me the Nigerian ambassador to Ireland, Ambassador Felix F. Mr. Ambassador, good evening and welcome to Pwol Show.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.
Mr. Ambassador, a lot of Nigerians says they don't know you. So for the benefit of Nigerians who don't know you, could you tell us who is the man, His Excellency Ambassador Felix F?
Well, Felix Pwol is Nigerian. I'm from Plateau State, and I'm a career member of the Nigerian Foreign Service. I joined the service about 30 years plus ago, and I've served in various regions of the world. I first served in Austria, later Caracas, Venezuela, 1986 to 89, reassigned back to Nigeria. Then later I was in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo from 1993 to 1998. Then also I was reassigned back to Nigeria 98 to 2003, wherein I served in Washington, D.C. from 2003 to 2007. Then from 2007 to 2011, I was Director of ECOWAS Division. Before Mr. President graciously appointed me ambassador, and I was assigned to Ireland. I arrived Ireland July 31st, 2011, and presented my letters on September 13th last year. So basically, maybe that's what you want to know. I also attended Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. I was in the Department of Political Science. I left ABU July 1979. So maybe that will give you a little insight of who I am.
Yeah. I mean, for people who are watching, I think I have my colleague here who would have attended the same school now. She should be very happy hearing you say that you attended Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. That's fine. That's it shows that we're talking to a career diplomat who has traveled all over the world representing Nigeria. I mean, that's good. Your Excellency, there's a question that a lot of Nigerians are asking, and they've actually asked me to ask you this question.
Yes.
So what is the duty of the embassy to Nigerians in Ireland?
Well, the principal duty of the embassy as relates to Nigerians is the welfare of Nigerians. And what do I mean by welfare? First of all, is to assist them when they require certain documents, like the passport, which, as you know, is an important document. Authentication of documents where it's required, be it birth certificate, marriage certificate, educational certificates, and so on. Reaching out to Nigerians in distress when they call us for assistance. But what I also want Nigerians to understand is all these things we have to do in conjunction with our host government. But the best way we can assist them is we also liaise effectively with the Irish government to see how best we can assist them. So this is in a nutshell what we're here for. Attending to the welfare of Nigerians, seeing to their progress, and where they have certain challenges, we do our best to see how we can ameliorate the situation. Yeah.
And that's the duty of the embassy to Nigeria.
Precisely.
What about the duty of the ambassador?
Well, the duty of the ambassador is clearly stated out in the station charter. First of all is to promote bilateral relations between Nigeria and Ireland. As you know very well, as Mr. President's principal representative, my duty is to try my best to move the agenda of the government as far as economic development between Nigeria and Ireland. That is, to see how best we can attract investment to assist our government. You know the challenges we have in the transformation agenda, from manpower development, infrastructure development. These are the key areas. See the enormous challenges we have in our educational system, Government is trying to see that we introduce a lot of entrepreneurship. You know, one of the challenges we have is youth unemployment. If we really get our youth to work, that will be one of our biggest assets. You can see the power sector, what government is doing. This year, about 10 power plants will be commissioned. In the area of roads, you've seen the work that government is doing. In the area of water supply, mass housing. So what I'm working hard to see is that we interest Irish private sector to take a look into the Nigerian economy and see how they can contribute. You may be aware that there will be a second Africa Island Economic Forum in Dublin on the 22nd of October. That is next Monday. And we have tried to sensitize Nigerian businesses to come to Ireland and see how they can partner with Irish companies so that they can invest. The major idea of this forum, as you may also know, is a kind of synergy with the Irish government. The Irish government introduced what they call the Africa Strategy September 13th last year to coincide with the launching of the first Africa Island Economic Forum. And what is this Africa Strategy? We have observed over the years, particularly by the African Group of Ambassadors, that Africa and Ireland enjoy very good political, educational, cultural relations. However, we discovered that there's a missing link. Economic relations are not as robust as we think they should be. So the whole idea of this forum is to sensitize the Irish government to see that, look, there are opportunities in Africa for trade and investment. We in Nigeria, we just do not want just trade. We want added value. For instance, in agriculture, if people come into the dairy fisheries industry, what added value can they make in Nigeria? As I mentioned to you about our unemployment situation, we want to grow small and medium-scale enterprises where it can not only impact on our environment, but will help in our manpower and human capacity development. So essentially, my agenda, I've mentioned one, which is the welfare of Nigerians. Okay. It's an important plan.
Right, yeah. Yeah. So now that staying on the economy, you've talked about the International African, Irish African Forum. What would Nigerians be doing, especially Nigerians in Ireland? What would be their participation?
Well, the participation of Nigerians in Ireland in this forum is, I think they should act as a bridge, that is between Nigerian businesses in Nigeria and Irish businesses, given the advantage that they have here. This is something I believe we need to develop further, I must tell you. For me, this is like my first experience. So we are looking at where we can learn lessons to better engage Nigerians. We have not done much because I didn't want to rush into things. Let's get a clear framework and see how we can engage Nigerians meaningfully. But definitely they have a role. You may be aware we're thinking also on a separate ground on meeting with Nigerians who have indicated they wish to promote these relations.
I asked that question because we have similar situations before where Nigerian embassy would organize trade summits, and you discover that Nigerians in Ireland are not involved. Most of 98% of the people that would have come for the summit would be Nigerians coming from either Nigeria or you see Irish people, and few people like us who are in the media would just be there. And I actually have to ask at the point, where are the Nigerians in Ireland? Why are they not here?
I see your point. There's no doubt that I can't give you a clear-cut answer. What I can tell you is that we'll definitely have meetings to see how we can make this engagement meaningful. You see, like I always say, we have to look clearly at what are objectives. To me, that is the most important thing. We must agree as to the clear goal we want to achieve. You see, once you do that, you carry people along.
Yes.
So we have to understand what are the goals of all these whether you want to call it economic summit or forum or whatever. The important thing to me is let's get our goals very clear. We'll now see what each segment or what role Nigerians will play, what role the embassy and our business people back home. Okay. So this is what we're trying to drive at. Okay. Let's get our objective clear. Okay. Then we believe other things will fall in place.
Right. But again, is this a replacement of IGEPS?
It's a good question. You see, let me tell you what I have decided as an individual wherever I go. I don't believe I have to start any initiative new. When I came in, I tried to learn what IGEP had achieved or had done and see how I could build on. Now, when I came in, also coincidentally, they were preparing to launch the first Africa Island Economic Forum. So we are seeing how we can synergize the two. That's why I've just decided not to launch anything new, but to build on what has been on the ground. So yes, we can pick up some of the issues but we are not, quite concluded in IGEP. See their relevance and bring them on board into this forum. So that is the thinking in the embassy. I made that clear when I came in that I don't have to start a new initiative. What was on ground, let's try and build on it. So to answer your question, yes, we will not abandon IGEP. We are going to pick up if there are any issues in IGEP that are brought to my attention, I am also looking into. We are going to take them on.
Okay. For Nigerians who are interested or who are forming partnership with the Irish businesses and are interested in taking them to Nigeria, what can they expect? What help can they expect from the embassy?
Well, we can help them first of all. I will go back to the same issue I raised. We have to sit down and know clearly what do they want to achieve. You see, based on discussions, it is natural when people want to go and invest money they borrowed, particularly from banks. Yes, there's a lot of uncertainty, but you must do something like a feasibility and be sure of what you want to do. Our assistance in this regard is, yes, to make sure that we are going in for something that's credible. You understand? Because the important is if we lose that credibility, you know what it means in business. So what we're trying to do, what we'll try and do in the area of assistance is to get Nigerians with Irish people here who are credible and are going to do some credible business. There are institutions that will assist us, Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission, Corporate Affairs Commission. There are basic guidelines, as you will know, because these are very sensitive issues that if we lose credibility, it's a very serious matter. So we try and get credible Nigerians here and credible Irish business who are going to Nigeria and see how we can link them up with credible businessmen in Nigeria. So our major work is to facilitate. Okay. The business people will do their own talk, but we'll facilitate.
Facilitate that.
Right. That relationship.
Yeah. Yes. But again, from what you're saying, Nigerians who are not aware, who have this wrong perception, not from your reign, but prior to now, that if you bring a business to the embassy that is taken from you, that they are encouraged to bring businesses to the embassy. When they bring it here, somebody somewhere hijack it from them, and the people, the business, the Irish businesses no longer talk to them because somebody from here, it used to happen. They cannot realize that what will happen is that you verify that is genuine and you facilitate the process, and nobody is going to, they shouldn't be afraid.
Yes, everybody has a way of doing things. Like I told you, I don't want to dwell too much on, you see, things should be looked at in their own perspective. Like I made it clear, since I arrived here, I've made it clear that my duty is to facilitate. That is, the embassy will facilitate whoever wants to do. You see, let's get this very clear. Business people know the real issues that they want to discuss. Ours is to facilitate them meeting each other, either by way of visa, talking to the right people. You know the problem of scams. That is why when sometimes people approach us, we ask them, look, please hold on. Let's make inquiries. Because unfortunately, due to a few incidents, some people had the impression that there were a lot of us. I would tell them no. Some of these people who fell into these wrong hands were also too much in a hurry. I made that very clear. There is none of the prospective business people, those who are already in, who has come to see us in the embassy. We have made that position very clear. That before you enter into any serious negotiations, please contact the embassy. We here do not have all the instruments, but we have the relationship, like I mentioned to you. Ministry of Foreign Affairs deals with the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, Corporate Affairs Commission, the various chambers of commerce, and other institutions of government that can assist in ascertaining the genuineness and seriousness of these business concerns. So yes, it takes time, but for a reason. Those who went in a hurry got their fingers burnt. And I told them, well, what did you want me to do? Or the embassy? So it is extremely important that people are not so much in a hurry, but they should get things right from the word go. So let me assure Nigerians that, look, when you come to the embassy, this embassy will facilitate. That is our major duty. Your discussions with your business partners, you know what to do.
That's good.
So
that's good news. It's good to know.
Thank you.
I mean, that's a breath of fresh air.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Your Excellency, let's go back to your responsibility to the people again, to the Nigerians in Ireland.
Yes.
There's this perception that the ambassador do not reply requests or letters and do not attend in events, and consequently is not interested in empowering the people, the Nigerian people in Ireland.
No, I think there's a lot of misconception. Let me start first of all. Since I arrived here, I have received at least 20 Nigerian organizations of various forms, shapes, and so on. You see, I've tried to explain Nigerians are free to organize themselves, whether based on the basis of ethnic, state, professional basis. It's all fine with us. However, I've also drawn their attention. Look, in the embassy, we also have other duties. We will simply be overstretched. Look, you may be aware that we have tried to establish an umbrella organization of Nigerians. As a matter of fact, we set up an ad hoc committee that has drafted the constitution. By the end of this week, this draft constitution should be on the website so that people can read and air their views, their suggestions. What I've always told Nigerian organizations is that, look, what are the objectives that led you to setting up this organization? And that is what is of paramount importance. And I've always used this example. Every time I go, Nigerians in diaspora want to vote. And that's why the matter begins and ends. I have challenged them. You have honorable members in the House of Representatives, you have distinguished senators, and as you know, in terms of constitutional amendment, you need members of your state House of Assembly. As Nigerians, you should feel free to write to them and ask them, look, what are they doing about their brothers who are living abroad? Why I'm relating this is some of these organizations may be 15, 20 people. Nigerians in Ireland about 35,000. And I asked a few of them, do you have the capacity to even rally around Nigerians? What we in the embassy are saying is complement one another rather than entering into unnecessary competition. So that brings me to the number of organization attendance at functions. I have tried to respond to many invitations. If you see my desk now, you see the invitations. If we sit in this embassy just attending to Nigerian invitations, we may not do any other work. So what I've explained to them is, look, they're free to have their functions. However, the ones the embassy will attend, we must rationalize our attendance. That is just the point. We are not preventing anybody from organizing any function, but the ones they expect the embassy to attend, it's simply out of it to say that we attend all. It's not possible. We have tried to put certain benchmarks. Like, you know, at home, when we say geopolitical zone, how would it look like if we just attend a function from Oyo today, Ogun tomorrow? We have equally important things to do, particularly with the host government. There are other things government expects us to do. I mentioned to one important part of our function, even attending to the welfare of Nigerians. We must work closely with our colleagues, the Irish government. Things like prison visitations, things that have to do with even consular, when they're detained in police stations. You cannot just come as a diplomat to walk into a station without liaising with them. So we need to create that rapport that will enable us to perform our functions effectively. So here it's a matter of rational use of time. So I want our Nigerians to please understand. Embassy is not saying don't have many functions. Even in the terms of organization I've explained to you, what I believe should drive organizations is what are the objectives.
We talked about the organization, but from the point of view of replies to invitation that you spoke
Yes, but response, yes, we had that challenge, but I believe there's a significant improvement. What I've directed is, once we receive an information, we should acknowledge. Acknowledgement is not the same with commitment.
Yes.
The important thing is to know that, yes, we acknowledge, we've received it. I've directed that any invitation I receive, there should be that preliminary acknowledgement that, yes, we've received it, is under consideration. It also brings me to the same number of issues. Now I have so many events from invitations bordering on the same thing. I called a few of them here and asked them, how would it even look like? Today, embassy is here, tomorrow. For what is the purpose of all this? Is it just for publicity? Or what? And I told them, look, on both sides, even on your own side, can we find a better and rational way of using our time? And this is why, to me, you see, a lot of these things require some thought before you go into forming organizations, organizing functions. I've drawn attention to a number of them. Our people are very innovative. But the way they handle, I attended a function with 22 items on the agenda spanning about 6 hours. And I've asked them, don't you go to other functions? You have very good programs, but the mere way you present it, the whole thing loses its relevance, you understand? And it's a pity. I've seen a lot of energy and effort you have put in it. But just the way you presented it, people will go to function and start working out and leaving you. At the end of the day, maybe 10 people. Is that the way to, all the time you spent, the money you spent? So these are some of the issues that, you see, I think people need to sit down and look and plan well. I've told them, if they want, we can advise them. Make this thing, look, most programs, I told them one way you can go about it is have 2 segments. If you want to invite people, make it a 2-3 hour finish. Then if you want the one you can sleep or spend whatever time, just about have to do that.
Yes.
But you see, you get the whole thing mixed up and totally combined. People begin to wonder. And you see, it brings me sometimes maybe to lack of our culture. Many of these people are not used to sitting for so long for programs like that. So I suggested to them, break it into 2. Make one that is 2.5 hours. Do all your formality, your goodwill messages. Then you want to bring the culture and whatever things, you make it the second part. But when you bring all that mix, I told many of them, believe me, wait and see. If you invite somebody, he will think twice before he comes to your function. For this simple reason. Not that you don't have good programs. That's not the point. But it's the way you are presenting it. That to me, it's, it loses a lot of its utility.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, and I do know that the embassy cannot be everywhere, especially with organizations associations who just think that whatever they do, the embassy needs to be there. But the only thing I'm saying is that there are some organizations that actually represent who we are as Nigerians in Ireland. And from what you said, those are the organizations that needs to be looked at and needs to be encouraged and empowered. And it's good news that you said you set up a committee to come up with solutions on how to go about it. I just hope that we get success out of it. I don't know what they're going to come up with, but I heard there are a couple of squabbling here and there. But I hope that at the end we would have a reputable Nigerian organization that everybody agrees to. And instead of this 15 too member organizations that do not actually represent who we are as Nigerians in Ireland, that would have stopped.
You see, I've had all these misgivings. It will not work. It will not. I said, well, I do not know. See, what I told the Nigerians and those who are appointed, I said, look, the ball is in your court, and I think it is in your greater interest, those of you Nigerians who live in Ireland, to take this thing serious. Look, there will be challenges in everything. You see, there is nothing that has not happened in Nigeria that has not happened elsewhere. For me, the dividing line is, what do you do? If people have challenges of poverty, is it to sit down and be mourning every day? Is there no poverty everywhere? The difference is, what have you done to alleviate it? If, for instance, we're having a problem with girl child education, so we sit down and say, because we have a problem, we're not going to do anything about it. The difference, in my view, of all these countries is, what steps have they taken to address those issues? So this Nigerian organization, what I've suggested to them is, all these people who are grumbling, this is an opportunity. There is a draft document for consideration. Go into the website and study critically. Hopefully what we're envisaging is, after all these comments have been collated, another meeting will be called so that all these things are synthesized in the document, so that sooner than later an EXCO can be elected to pilot the affairs. You see, because the longer we wait, the more complex and nothing moves. You see, there are too many organizations that it makes it really difficult for you to...
It makes no sense.
Precisely. So, and I'm appealing to Nigeria and say, look, this thing is in your greater interest. If you sit down and begin to squabble over things that are not really... I told them, look, what are the objectives of these things? What should guide you? Will it serve your purpose as Nigerians in Ireland? Those are the critical questions to ask. I am optimistic because even the members, when they presented the report to me last Friday, they said, oh, many people are saying it will not happen. I said, well, I have learned to work in where people are pessimistic about things, but when I'm determined, I will not give up.
But Your Excellency, what I think you should do again, it still boils down to the issue of majority of Nigerians need to know about this, your point of view, because I tell you that because organizations come here and they come here for their own selfish interest and you give them an honest opinion, they won't go out there telling Nigerians this was what you told them. There has to be a channel where you are able, like now you are talking to us. A lot of Nigerians will say this. If it's, a quarterly or monthly briefing of Nigerians and, making sure media people come like this and hear what you say, then the people at home will be able to form an opinion from the messages you are, sending out, because selfish organizations would not go out and tell the people at home that the ambassador told us to go and work as one, to go and, have unity within us, because right from the onset, the only reason those organizations are formed are for selfish reasons. So I just believe that there should be a channel where you reach out.